A question I get asked from coaches and business owners and entrepreneurs and consultants very often is, Coach Stone, how do I stand out from everybody else in my industry? There's so many coaches, there's so many authors, there's so many consultants. How do I stand out from everyone else? Because otherwise, if I don't figure out how to stand out from other people, I'm not going to be able to grow my business, and I'm probably going to have to go back to my 9-to-5 job. And I get that. I've been there. I completely understand. And I think one of the biggest ways that is overlooked in terms of standing out from everybody else in your industry and really having clients come to you is this one thing. Learn to tell better signature stories. Learn to tell signature stories, and you will stand out in your industry and attract your ideal clients. That's what I want to talk about coming up next in this episode. You're listening to the Grind and Gratitude Show. I am Danny Stone, and I've dedicated my entire life to helping people win. Win in their careers, win in their businesses, and win in their lives. This podcast is going to help you get on your grind and hustle to create the life that you love and walk in gratitude along the journey. Each episode, I'll teach you tools and tactics and bring you conversations with experts that will help you turn your passion into a thriving online business. Life isn't about wishing for something greater. It's about making it happen. There's something special about you. Grind until you find it. Be grateful when you get it. Welcome to the Grind and Gratitude Show. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. If you're an avid listener, then you know I got love for you, and thank you so much. Please make sure that you leave a review and subscribe so you get this great information, these tools, these tips right in your inbox every single Monday. Now, first of all, let me say this. Coach Stone is in the building. That's right. I am Danny Stone, also known as Coach Stone, and the host of the Grind and Gratitude Show podcast. Now, let's dive into what this episode is all about. I'm really excited about this episode, and I'm excited because I get so many questions about how can I stand out in my industry? How do I stand out from other people who are doing what I'm doing? And one of the things that I think we often overlook is this. We're so focused on the shiny thing, the website, the brand colors, having the right funnels, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, making sure that your website looks a certain way. Oh, wait, by the way, is your social media feed looking like this? Like we're listening to all of these people tell us all of these things that we need to do, and we get overwhelmed. And then what happens as a business owner and entrepreneur, you try to do all of these things, like you're worrying about all these different things, and you're taking your attention away from the one thing that you really should be focused on. And there is one thing that you really need to focus on if you want to grow your business, if you want to land your ideal clients and have them running to you so you don't have to chase them. If you want to learn to position yourself as the go-to expert in your field, if you want to get on bigger platforms so that you can reach more people and make a greater impact with your services or your products, then you have to do this one thing. And I find that a lot of people aren't really talking about this thing, but big brands understand it. Brands that you and I follow, big companies that you and I are loyal to, they already know this. And we need to tap into this so that we can scale and grow our businesses and make a greater impact. So here it is. The one thing that you have to do in your business is this. Learn to tell your signature stories. Learn to tell your signature stories. Now, you're saying, Coach Stone, what's a signature story? I'm so glad that you asked, co-host. Here it is. A signature story is really an intriguing, authentic kind of narrative about your customer's journey and your journey in terms of what you stand for in terms of your brand. And what your signature story does is it helps to position you as being unique, being different, but also it helps you to get in the hearts of your clients. And when you get in the hearts of your clients, that's what makes people want to buy. And so a brand story helps to do all of these things. It's really these series of stories that are intriguing, that are authentic, that are constantly involving other people and are really strategic, right? They're not just random stories that you tell in your business that are feel-good stories. There's a strategic approach to it, right? So you want your stories to be intriguing, right? What is it about the story that you're telling that is going to make people lean in? A strong signature story is all about the life of the customer. It's about you understanding where they are and getting them to where they want to go. Then it's authentic. It got to be real. Don't be out here telling fake stories or making up stories, because people will see right through that. How many times have you heard someone tell a story and right away you just knew that it wasn't true? Or at least in your mind, you thought it wasn't true. Maybe it was because the way they were telling the story, maybe it seemed very over the top and exaggerated. Maybe there were just certain aspects of the way that the story was being told that you just couldn't relate to, and it seemed like it might not have been authentic. Well, when you tell stories in your business, you really want them to be authentic. You want people to understand that, wow, that's a really powerful story. You seem like you're being genuine. You seem like you're being real and authentic. And, here's the interesting thing. The story may be true or it might not be true, but it has to be authentic in terms of why you're telling the story, the message behind the story. And for me, I would only tell true, authentic, real stories. But, I know sometimes people exaggerate or they make things up, and that's your choice. But it's really important to be authentic. It's really important that you have a message behind the story, that there's a lesson, that you get it. It has to be authentic, right? It has to be real. People have to believe it. That's the most important thing. People have to believe the story. Then the other thing is it really has to be involving. Like really successful, powerful stories, they draw in the audience. The audience lean in. They want to know more. They want to know who's the hero, who's the villain, what happened. And it's really about creating this emotional connection with the story. And when people are able to do that, when they're able to get involved, when they invest in a story, then they will invest financially in your business. So a story has to be involving, and then it has to be strategic. You don't just want to be telling all of these stories just to tell stories. They have to be strategic. The messaging behind it has to lead people to do something, right? You want them to take action. And so the stories that you tell in your business have to be interwoven and connected with your brand and what you stand for and the journey of where your customers or your clients are and where they're going. And so there has to be a strategic approach. It really has to connect with your values and your vision for your business. So that's what you kind of need to do. Those are the pieces that you need to have in your story. And a lot of us just don't have that. We haven't taken our time to really put that together. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have stories, and maybe you do have signature stories already. I'm not sure. But what I realize is this. When I started telling signature stories, my business took off. I started getting on bigger platforms to speak. I started reaching bigger audiences. I started making a greater impact. People were coming to me saying, Danny, how do I get in your course? How do I get in your coaching program? Can I hire you as my coach? Can I hire you to come and speak at our organization? Or can you come to our community event and speak? I was just getting in front of bigger audiences. I was really standing out from other people in my industry because of the stories that I was telling. And you might be thinking, well, Danny, that sounds really great, but that's you. You're a speaker. That's what you do. I get that. But then I started teaching it to other people, and they started getting the same results. Right? Once I started teaching it to other people, they were really fine tuning their stories and their business. And they started really getting in the hearts of ideal clients. And then their revenue started to increase. They started to scale and grow their business. They started to be able to communicate their stories on social media and on video and in interviews and on their website and in their emails. And they brought it all together. And a lot of my coaching clients, just like me, saw a lot of success with telling signature stories. We found that we didn't have to work as hard to get clients. We'd tell the stories and then people would send us direct messages, or they would apply to our coaching programs through our websites. And that's what I want you to understand. We can do all of these things. You can do all of the things, chasing this and the funnels and the marketing and the branding, but it all comes down to your signature stories. That's what people can relate to. And now I want to share 3 reasons you need to develop your signature stories in your business. These are really powerful reasons. And I'm going to give you some examples of how they've worked for me and my coaching clients and how they will work for you as well. The first reason, and I've already given you some reasons, but I really want you to understand these 3 big reasons. These are 3 major reasons that you need to learn to tell your signature stories in your business. The very first reason is this. When you learn to tell your signature stories, you get in the hearts of potential clients. And when you get in people's hearts and they connect to you emotionally, that's when they'll buy from you. People buy based on emotion. And emotion doesn't transfer from stats. Giving people statistics doesn't tap into their emotions. People need stories. They connect through stories. Emotions are all about storytelling. So if you want to form emotional connections and deeper bonds with potential customers so that they look at you as their go-to person to buy their products or their services from, you have to learn to tell signature stories. It's always stories over facts if you really want to get in the hearts of your ideal clients. Facts just don't do it. Stories beat facts every single time. What are you more likely to remember? 76% of people don't like their jobs because of XYZ. Or I remember when I was working in my job, my 9-to-9 job, and every day I would have huddles with different groups of people about why they didn't want to be there. And I would participate in these conversations with people about why we didn't like our jobs and why we didn't want to be there and how stressed out we were and how we all wished that we were somewhere else. What do you remember? Are you likely to remember the stat, or are you likely to remember the story? Right? And if you remember the stat, it's okay, but it's still not going to form a deep emotional bond with you. But I bet you many people can relate to that story. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you worked at a job that you just lost your passion for and you wish you were somewhere else. Maybe you used to sit around and talk to your colleagues and your coworkers about leaving that job and quitting or how bad the environment was, right? We can form an emotional connection based on that story. And so when you learn to tell your stories in a way that really resonates with people, then they're going to want to lean in and learn more about what you do. And then they want to go deeper with you. And then once people go deeper, that's when they want to become a customer or a client. And that's when they commit to reaching in their pocket, pulling out their credit card or their debit card and paying for your products and your services. It's kind of like singers, right? Think about your favorite artist, your favorite musical artist, and think about the songs that they sing. Some of the biggest songs that may connect with you, or some of the most popular songs of all time, are songs where the artist is really talking about themselves, their own journey, their pain, their struggles, the ups and downs of their relationships, or trying to find themselves. Aren't they the songs that a lot of us connect with? We connect with those artists because they're sharing bits and pieces of themselves that you can relate to. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this in your business. I'm not saying you really have to get personal about, who you are to a certain extent, but there's ways to develop signature stories where you're describing the journey of your customers or your clients, and you're letting them know that you have the solution, that you have what they want or they need, and that you're different than everybody else because you get them. And the way that you do that is through really getting in their hearts, through telling stories. And so you have to remember, it's always stories over facts. Stories beat facts every time. If you really want to form a bond with your ideal clients and you really want to attract them instead of running after them, learn to tell better signature stories. Learn to express that you understand where they are now and where they want to go. Once you can do that, then you get in their hearts, you get their emotions, and people buy based on emotion. Okay, that's the first reason why you need to develop your signature story. The second reason you need to learn to develop your signature story is this. You learn to tell these stories so that you can position yourself as the go-to expert. You develop your USP, your unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition is unique to you. It's unique to your business. It's what makes you stand out from everybody else that's doing what you're doing. And so learning to tell your signature stories helps you to stand out from everybody else because nobody else has your story. See, your stories are unique to you. Nobody else has had the journeys that you've had. Nobody else has the experience, the ups, the downs, the lessons. Nobody has that. They might have something similar, but they don't have your experiences. They don't have your stories. And so once you learn to tell your stories in a way that's meaningful, that's authentic, that's real, that speaks to the hearts of your ideal clients, then you start to position yourself as the go-to expert, right? You start to develop your USP. Now people say, okay, I know why I'm coming to Coach Stone now, because he gets me. He used to work in the corporate world. He knows what it's like to struggle. He knows what it's like to sit in a cubicle and wish that you could make a greater impact in the world. He knows what it's like to have these reservations about starting your own business. He knows what it's like to start your own business, have a little bit of success, and then fall off, and then wonder where your next sales are coming from. He's been on that roller coaster of having really great months in his business and then having really horrible months. He knows what it's like to scale and grow your business to the next level. And he knows what it's like to teach other people how to do that. So he gets me. Coach Stone really gets me. And because he gets me, he's the expert I want to listen to. I'm going to follow him. I'm following him on social media. I'm listening to his podcast. I'm buying his coaching, his products, his services, right? And so that's what happened. Once I started to learn to tell better stories, that's exactly what happened. It's crazy. I was doing all of the things. Okay, I got my brand colors and my social media feed looks like this. And I was posting at 1.5 times a day because that's what people were telling me to do. And then I was doing YouTube videos, and then I was on LinkedIn, I was on Facebook, I was on Instagram. Oh, then I had to join TikTok because everyone says you got to join TikTok. And I was doing all of these things, and I'm still doing a lot of them. But here's the thing. It was all about the messaging. It's all about the signature stories. And so because I started getting clear with my signature stories, it really helped me with positioning. And because it helped me with positioning, I was able to get on bigger platforms, TV, radio, bigger podcast platforms. People were inviting me to their social media lives to come and speak on their lives, on their Clubhouse platforms. And so I started to get on bigger platforms because I started to really fine tune my signature stories. And the same can be said for you. When you start to learn how to tell stories in a way that really, really gets in the minds of other people, when you really can understand their journey. And when you're crystal clear about what it is that you do and how it can either help other people or provide them with something that they need or they want, once you can start to do that, then you're really starting to stand out because you're positioning yourself as the go-to expert. And it can be anything, right? It can be, whatever type of business that you have. Like I had a client who is, she does makeup and skincare. And as you know, so many people do, skincare. There's so many skincare products out there. And one of the things that, she was trying to figure out is she was really talking about the benefits of the product a lot. Oh, this is great for your skin and your hair, and it'll clear up your acne or those wrinkles. And she was talking about all of the features and all of the benefits from people buying her various products. But she wasn't telling stories. So I sat down with her and we went through this whole signature story process. I have a 5-step process that I teach people. It's called the Story Finder method. And we went through the 5-step process. And at the end of it, she came out and she had tears because she realized some things about her own life journey that got her to where she is right now that she kind of just locked away in the back of her mind. And there was one story that really stood out. She said, Coach Stone, when I was growing up, I used to have really bad skin and I had bad acne and my hair, I had issues with my hair, and I couldn't find any products for Black women. And so I'd go and try all these products, but they wouldn't work for me. They wouldn't work on my skin. And people used to laugh at me and make fun of me. And I was really afraid to be out around people because I just didn't like the way that I looked. I wasn't comfortable. I was insecure. And so, over the years, I would just keep learning about different products and try them. And some things would work and some things didn't work. And then finally, I found these products and I developed these products and they started working for me. And then I started sharing it with other people. And then I realized that it wasn't just working for me. It was working for my friends and my family and other people. And then that's why I decided that I wanted to start this business. I started this business because I didn't want anyone to feel like I was feeling. I didn't want them to hide from the world. I didn't want people to feel insecure about their skin and about their hair. And so that's why I started this product line. And then I just paused and I said, wow, that is so amazing. And she just looked at me. She said, that's my signature story, right? I said, absolutely. And so do you see that? She started sharing that story and snippets and pieces of that story. And we refined it and it looks similar, but it's elevated. And she started sharing that on her website and her social media and in media appearances and on radio and all that kind of thing, all that kind of stuff. And it was amazing. Her business just took off. She became like the go-to expert in the beauty, in the skincare. And people started coming to her. She started getting on bigger platforms, getting these huge interviews. All these women started coming to her saying, like, where do I buy your products? She was selling out of the products. And so that's what a signature story can do. She went from giving you all the facts about why you need to buy these products and what they can do for your skin and this and that. But she had to tell her story. And when she found that signature story, and that's just one of a couple of signature stories she has. Once she developed that signature story, that just made her stand out from everybody else. That made her stand out. And so that's what it does. It gives you that expert positioning. A story can position you to stand out from everybody else. It makes you unique. And that's your unique selling proposition, your USP. Are we cool with that? Are you understanding? Are you with me right now? I hope that you're really connecting with this. I know I consider you my co-host, and right now I'm looking at you and it looks like you're nodding. You're saying yes. So I'm seeing you nodding in my mind. Maybe that's not true, but that's what I'm seeing. And so I'm glad that you're with me. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, these are tips that are really going to help you to stand out and to attract your ideal clients, right? So that's the second fact. Telling signature stories really helps you to position yourself as an expert, and it's your unique selling proposition. And the third reason that you need to tell signature stories is this. It helps you to grow and scale your business. It helps you to grow and scale your business, or maybe businesses, depending on how many you have. But it does that because now you're getting in front of bigger audiences. Now you're attracting more of your ideal clients. But here's another thing that happens. Because people have this deep connection with you, now they become your ambassadors. They become your affiliates. They become raving fans. And then they go out there and they start talking about your products and your services. So they're bringing you business. And so you start to grow and scale your business because now you have people that believe in you. You have people that have a deep connection with you. You're getting on bigger platforms. You're standing out from other people in your industry. And all of those things are necessary. Well, not all of those things are necessary, but telling those stories make that necessary. And that's how you grow your business. And then you can worry about, the sales funnels and the advertising and all of these things. But you really have to get your signature stories down first, because those are the things that are going to fuel everything else that you do. They're going to fuel what you say on social media, in your emails, in interviews, in your advertising, on your website. They're going to fuel all of those things. And so if you don't have that down, this is the foundation. This is the foundation. Once you get your signature stories down, this is the foundation for now going out there into the world, telling people what you do in a very unique and different way. And then that's going to lead to you landing more business, growing your business, scaling your business, either through revenue, through partnerships, through getting in front of bigger audiences, through people becoming affiliates. That's how you're going to continue to grow your business. So you have to continue to evolve with your signature stories. You have to continue to really understand your clients and your potential clients and where they are in their life and how you are providing the solution to what they need or they want. Is this making sense to you? I hope so. So those are the three reasons that you really have to tell your signature stories in your business. One, because you get in the hearts of potential customers, and stories beat facts every time. You need to form an emotional connection because people buy based on emotion, and signature stories are going to help you to do that. The second reason you need to tell stories is about expert positioning and your USP. It helps you to form your unique selling proposition. Telling stories helps you stand out from other people in your industry, and it helps you to position yourself as the go-to expert in your field. And the third reason is telling signature stories is the foundation for you to grow your business. Once you get these stories down, you start to bring in more clients, which is bringing in more revenue, which is getting you in front of bigger audiences and bigger platforms so that you can reach more people and make a greater impact. Those are the three reasons that you need to tell your signature story in your business. That's it. So if you're interested, if you really want to learn this stuff, I can teach it to you. I have a course that is called Master Your Message. And if you really want to learn how to master your message, then go ahead and click the link wherever you're listening to this in the description, or you can go to iamdannystone.com/workshop because it's the Master Your Message workshop. And I will teach you how to do these things. But believe this, whether you choose to work with me or not, I really think that you should spend some time on developing your signature stories, because once you do, it will change your business forever. So that is it. I want to thank you so much for rocking with me, for really listening, for being my co-host. I can't do this without you, so I really, really appreciate you. And if this is something that you really are interested in, either research it yourself or make sure that you connect with me by clicking the link in the description or going to iamdannystone.com/workshop, because I really believe that once you learn to master your message, you'll take your business to the next level. That's it from me. I will catch you in the next episode. Take care. Thanks so much for being my co-host on this episode of the Grind and Gratitude Show. I really appreciate you. I hope that you learned something and you're motivated to take action and get on your grind. Didn't that go by fast? If you want more, head over to grindandgratitude.com for show notes and more information about this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please go to iTunes and subscribe and leave a rating so more people will tune in. And let me say this, there's something special about you. Grind until you find it. Be grateful when you get it.